Alright guys, we are in the Old Harbour in Reykjavik, which I guess you could maybe say is the northeast of the city, and we're going to go and have a little look at Bryggjan Brugghús. Now, the last time I was back in Iceland was 2014, so this place didn't exist back then, so I'm really curious to see how it turns out. So we'll go in, we'll have a couple of beers, I'll give you a little walk around the brewery, and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, cheers. Alright guys, so the part of the video that you guys are most interested in. So the three beers I went for were the Reykjavik, which is a double IPA, there is the Navigator, which is Doppelbock, and then there's the Abyss, which is a black IPA. This one I believe is 8%, this one is 7.7, and this guy was 7.2. I was going to start with a double IPA due to the black IPA and then the Doppelbock, but to be honest, going by the colour of this one, going by the colour of the Navigator, I think it's going to be more like a kind of Maibock, this beer, but yeah, no, it should be interesting. Incidentally, this little flight was 2,000 Icelandic kroners, which is, I think that's about 20 euros in today's prices if I'm remembering correctly, compared to the Swedish kroner, you're talking around 160, 170 kroners if I'm remembering correctly. But to be honest, if you go to Iceland, unless you're from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, if you're from the Nordic countries or probably Switzerland, you will find it a little bit pricey, but it's just because their earnings, they earn a lot in the Scandinavian countries, the Nordic countries rather, and yeah, no, the quality of beer is always good, so you can enjoy yourself when you're here. But let's start off with this one then. So this one is the Navigator Doppelbock, so 7.7%, looks like a Maibock, nice kind of rich sort of goldeny amber colour, so let's get stuck in, let's go. Oh, that's nice actually. Now, one of the things I've always said about Doppelbocks is there's a lot of breweries that will sell things as Doppelbocks that are kind of golden. Like, to me, the Doppelbock should always be a little bit darker than this. And this one, in some ways, it is more along the lines of a Maibock, a stronger Maibock, to be honest with you. But it's nice. This one, the German styles of beer are quite, it's often a challenge for brewers to actually make them feel very authentic, but to me this feels like a properly authentic German style beer. So thumbs up to the brewery for this one. They have done a good job here with this beer in terms of making it authentic and German. The one thing I always used to remember about Icelandic beer back in 2014 was that you could always taste the quality of the water in them, and this, I have to say, is really quite a nice one. So well done to Bryggjan Brugghús for this one. But yeah, so you'll feel straight away that sort of typical smooth bready malt base blanket in the middle of your tongue. It sweetens up the further that you go into it. There's a little bit of a sort of caramelly kind of thing going on there. It's almost got this kind of biscuity, wafery quality to it as well, which is nice. And it's very caramelly in the centre of your palate, then it becomes more biscuity the further out you go from the centre of your palate. So really quite nice in that regard, and like I say, it has the bready base really makes it feel authentically German, so yeah, thumbs up to the brewery for that. On the hoppy side of things, it's very typical and noble, you know, Hallertau, Tettnanger hops, a really nice kind of blend of things actually, so yeah, I like how this one, how this beer goes together. That little sweet earthiness in the back corners, but as you come further forward, a little touch more floral and grassy around the kind of front corners of the palate as well. On the fruity side of things, it's mainly just a kind of, there's maybe a little bit of an appley, peary, orchardy ester kind of thing in this one, but mainly it's a nice, you know, it's just got that nice sort of grassy, almost lemony quality to it, which is good, yeah. But yeah, when I was saying Doppelbock, I was thinking, you know, it would be a nice sort of dark Doppelbock like Celebrator or Corbinian from Weihenstephan, something like that. So it is one thing I think that some breweries need to get a little bit better at, and I've noticed it with quite a few breweries. They always sell a Doppelbock, and to me this one should be marketed as a kind of Maibock rather than a Doppelbock, but that's just me being pernickety, because of course my whole love of beer began with the German beers. So yeah, let's have a little look at the Reykjavik then, which is their double IPA. So you can see with this one, nice kind of light golden colour there. This one's quite nice and clear actually. I'm suspecting that this one might be a West Coast IPA, but then of course there were some really good West Coast IPAs in Iceland already, the likes of Geiringer and things like that. They had the one, I forget what the Icelandic name was, but they had the one that was the horse, and it was the Good Horse the beer was called. So yeah, but let's get stuck into this one and see how we got on the Reykjavik Greece. Skål. Ooh, now that's nice. The thing I'm noticing about this one is, this one's a lot more oily and smooth in its mouthfeel than the Maibach was. This is a really nice big oily West Coast type IPA this. Straight away again, you're going to get that nice bready malt base kind of blanket the tongue. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a mix of German and American malts in here. It does have that kind of nice smooth, almost two-row malt quality to it. It's just nice. I mean, the very centre of your palate, you've got the very sweet caramel, and as you go out from that, you've got the sort of caramelly, bready kind of thing, and you've got a nice, you do have a nice bready quality, just underpinning this whole beer, but it gets more and more biscuity and things the further you go away from the centre of your palate. The malt base in this one is really quite nicely done, I have to say, so thumbs up. And this is one of the things a lot of breweries now are doing the New England IPAs, and they're forgetting about the balance of the malt base and stuff like this. But I have to say, this is a very nicely kind of balanced beer, this one. You know, thumbs up to the brewery for this. Yeah, again, it's really well balanced, this, and you can see this in both of these beers so far. Hoppy side of things, back corners of the palate, there's maybe a teeny little bit of earthiness there. As you come further forward along the sides of your tongue, it gets gradually more floral and slightly spicy, and then round the very front, the front corners of your palate are actually quite floral and almost resinous actually. I'm not sure it's quite spicy. And then round the very front curve of your palate, you've got a nice lighter kind of grassy note to the beer, and behind the front curve of the tongue, of course, that's where you get those nice fruity esters coming out of the beer. For me, this one's a little bit passion fruit. There's maybe a little touch of grapefruit in there, but it's not quite as dark as you might get from grapefruit in some instances. But a nice dark thing in there. There's maybe a little bit of a mango-y kind of note to this one. I don't think there's oranges, to be honest. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's maybe Simcoe in this one, because it does have a little bit of the smooth Simcoe quality in there, but it's also got a little bit of the resinous quality. There could be a little bit of maybe a wee touch of Chinook or something in there. But yeah, it's an interesting beer, this one. It could just even actually be a little bit of Cascade or something that's in this one too, actually. It's kind of like a very classic West Coast IPA, that, but it's really nice. I'd describe this one as quite a full-bodied beer. As I said, the carbonation is very smooth, good bit of malty sweetness to it as well. In terms of IBUs, I think you're talking somewhere in the region of like 50 IBUs in this one, so it's not one of the IPAs that's going to blow the head off you. It's just nice and really well balanced actually. So yeah, again, another very, very solid beer from these guys. So let's take a little taste of the last one then. We'll have a little look at the Abyss. So yeah, this one, black IPA, 7.2%. Let's have a little look at it. Skål. Ooh. That's a really roasty black IPA, this one actually. Yeah, and the black IPA, for me, it's a really interesting style. You don't see too many breweries doing this anymore, so I always like to try these when I come across them. So for me, this one has a really nice roasty toasty backbone to it. And it's a style, you know, the thing with this style is I've always preferred Imperial black IPAs because they just have a little bit of sweetness to, you know, to go with the thing there as well. But with the regular black IPAs, they can always be just a little touch too roasty, if you know what I mean. But this one's quite nicely balanced. The roastiness, the more you drink of this, the sweeter it becomes, I think. And I forgot to say about the colour list, you know, this one is a very dark, sort of Coca-Cola type colour, this one. But you know, overall, it's really nice how this one appears, you know, nice bit of, I would say, a kind of fawn coloured head on this one. Not the darkest head I've seen on a black IPA, but certainly the appearance is kind of what you'd expect from this style. But yeah, the more you drink of this one, the smoother it becomes, but really in the middle of your palate, that roasty black malt character It's punching its way out, and it is a black malt colour. It's not got any of the smoothness that you'd expect of coffee and things. This beer doesn't even have any sort of chocolatey sweetness. The backbone of this beer is very straight up roasty. And I have to admit, I do, with my black IPAs, I do like a little bit of sweetness in them. This one's a little touch too roasty for me. But yeah, really roasty, and it becomes quite dry actually in the aftertaste with this beer. So for me, yeah, I do like my black IPAs to be just a little bit sweeter than this, to be honest with you. But on the hoppy side of things, back corners of the palate, good little chunk of earthy character in there. As you come further forward, it smooths out a little bit round the front curve of the tongue, and round at the front corners of the palate, you get a little bit of a floral quality. Then round the very front curve of the palate, it's a little bit lighter and more grassy and things. And behind that front curve again, you've got some fruity esters in there. Yeah, the fruitiness in this one is quite hard to detect. The earthiness is a big presence in this too. I do wonder if they've maybe used a little bit of English Fugle in here or something like that, because it does almost have a little bit of that kind of herbal quality, which is interesting. But yeah, it's a really interesting kind of blend this beer. Definitely one of the more roasty and toasty and earthy black IPAs I've come across. And as I say, not much in the way of fruitiness. I really don't get much fruity quality out of this one. And you know, you want, for me, the Cascadian Dark, you do want a little bit of red fruit out of this beer. And yeah, no, maybe I'm drinking this one a little bit fresh because, you know, the front part of your palate just feels hoppy and bitter. There's not even really any fruity notes coming out of this one. There's a little bit of red fruity note there at the beginning, but then it fades away very quickly, and the dryness, the dry roasty bitter qualities just take over the flavour of this beer, to be honest with you. So yeah, the black IPA, in terms of its body, it's mid-body, the carbonation is very smooth. It's quite similar in conditioning to the double IPA, but I have to say, I really like these two. This one for me needs a little bit of sweetness and a little bit more kind of fruity quality as well. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the quality of the beers here, they all seem pretty good. I just think the black IPA, the Abyss, could be a little bit more balanced, if you like. But in terms of the lighter scale, the lighter side of things, I think this is pretty good. I maybe should have got the stout, but I just got the black IPA because it is that little bit more unusual, to be honest with you. But yeah, impressed with the quality of the beers, and I think I've had a good variety of different things here. You know, German style beer, West Coast IPA, and then a black IPA from the other side of the spectrum too. So impressed with the quality, and thumbs up to Bryggjan Brugghús for this one. I definitely would come back here, and I do hope that I can get a hold of some bottles and things from them at some point. I think this is more of a kind of brew pub, restaurant-y type thing. So yeah, I'll take a little video walking around the bar and stuff, and just let you have a little look at that actually. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, just give you a little walk around there. You can see there's the tap list and stuff there. You can see there's the Navigator Doppelbock on the top right, the black IPA there, Lily Grease. They also have the stout, and I did consider getting that. They've got a few other beers down there as well, an IPA, an English bitter, a lager beer, a sour and stuff like that. A beer, the Ulfrun Session IPA as well, which seems to be a really popular Icelandic beer these days. But yeah, really nice bar, I have to say. You know, look around, it's really nice. I was sitting filming just over there where the guys are walking past. So yeah, you can see my case and my jacket over there. I was down there, and if you just walk through here actually, you can see all the brewing tanks and stuff. So this is really cool. You can actually watch them doing the whole brewing exercise. They've got some nice copper kettles over here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think this is really cool. This is definitely more a sort of restaurant-y type brewery here rather than anything else. There you can see another boiling kettle they've got over here, some of the nice copper stuff as well. And here's their fermentation tanks, lots of nice stuff there. They've got a Session IPA and black IPA aging in there as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, really nice bar set up here, and it's cool. Yeah. So just walk back out to where we were. And yeah, so nice place. I'll give you a little final thought on the brewery after I finish my beers, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Alright guys, so a little bit of a final thought then on Bryggjan Brugghús. You can see behind me here, this little almost pavilion type thing that they have. This is just a little sort of outback bar thing, which is quite nice. The Bryggjan Brugghús is just this little bit here, but I mean, if you just look around me, I mean, this is a really nice little part of Reykjavik, the old harbour. Very, very pretty. I mean, behind me, over this way, yep, you can see the Opera House and there, or the Music Hall, I think. I forget exactly what it's called. But yeah, I mean, it's a really nice part, and we've got some really good weather today in Reykjavik. So, you know, I think it's about 12 degrees, something like that. But yeah, a few final thoughts on the brewery. Good beer was good quality. The lighter beers I really liked. The IPA, the Maibach were really nice. The black IPA, a little bit roasty toasty, wasn't a great you know, it wasn't the best black IPA I've come across, let's just be straight about that. But yeah, the lighter beers were really nice. I liked the authenticity of the German one. But overall, a really, really nice brewery. Service was good as well, albeit a little bit slow. There wasn't too many people in, and the service was still a little bit slow, but that's just one of the things. Maybe that's just how it kind of happened on this day. But nice day, nice venue, nice beer. You know, more positives than negatives, which is always a very, very good thing. But I would definitely visit here again and try some of their other beers. But yeah, if you come here, my experience on this one was try the German style beers and try the IPAs, and I'll see if I can try the stout the next time I'm here, because I'm sure I will be. Maybe you'll see Fabrizio and Tatiana in my next video, so we'll see how that goes. But I hope you've enjoyed another little out and about video from me. I'm going to go away and check out Microbar and also the Mikkeller and Friends bar as well. So I'll catch you and we'll do a little video there as well. Slanja, Skal.